how we found out that I was pregnant.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left.
She's laughing. She's laughing. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Isabella. I'm here with my cute little notebook that I got for 2021. As you can tell from the title, I'm actually here to talk about my pregnancy. So I'm currently 3 months postpartum and it's going pretty good, but that'll be a different video, so stay tuned. I gave birth to my precious little Mila. This first video is going to be my pregnancy. Next video is going to be labor video, and then you're not actually going to see me in labor. I'm just going to talk about it. The third will be talking about just like postpartum. All right, so how we found out that I was pregnant. We kind of knew because one, we weren't really trying to prevent anything, and we knew that we wanted to have kids at a younger age than average. I don't know, that's just what we wanted to do. I was like a week and a half late for my period, so I kind of knew at that point. We went and bought some tests, and I think I got like 3 tests. So pregnancy during the pandemic, to be more specific. I took one of the tests and I flipped it over and it said pregnant. We found out January 23rd. I started bawling my eyes out, and I just couldn't stop saying over and over, like, we're gonna have a mini one of us. I just like could not. It literally, excited, nervous, and it's like, dang, all these things go through your mind. I was so excited, you know, that I was going to be having this baby with the love of my life, and it was just so surreal. I just couldn't, sometimes I still can't handle it, as you can see. That's how we found out. And I had this app on my phone that like tracks my periods, and when you get pregnant, you can switch it over to the pregnancy app. Oh, and you can also like mark it when you actually have sex. So I was keeping track pretty well, and then that's how I know I was a week and a half late. My periods are always super accurate, by the way. It calculated that I was 5 to 6 weeks. So that is how we found out. Ooh, I need some water. Ooh, I'm back. Cheers. I kind of want to break this down by trimesters. How did my first How did my first trimester go? My first trimester, let me freaking tell you. My morning sickness, horrible. I was calling out of work, and luckily this job that I had just switched over to actually allowed me to work from home for a few days here and there. It was really difficult. I couldn't keep anything down. I was actually concerned for my baby's health because I couldn't keep anything down, and I was afraid that she wasn't getting the nutrients that she needed. The snacks that I tried for my morning sickness was saltines, mints, gum. I had to chew that all the time. That did make me feel a little bit better, just like in the moment. Tried like soups and stuff like that, but they did not help. Nothing helped. I feel like I mostly had it at nighttime. I also want to tell you guys the prenatals that I took. I actually did some research on what prenatals are best. I switched over to these and they seem to work really well for me. I didn't notice either one like messing with my morning sickness. Our first appointment was actually around 7 or 8 weeks pregnant. We went to our first appointment, and luckily it was right before the pandemic hit, so he actually was able to go to the first 2 appointments. Went to the first appointment, we got to see her, and it was an amazing moment. I I mean, if you're a mom, dad, like you guys know how that shit feels. So we actually didn't really want to tell anybody until after the 12-week mark. It's called like the safety zone. I was really terrified about miscarriages. There was a lot of women in my family that had miscarriages their first pregnancy. So I was super terrified of that and anxious and nervous all the time. I also started using oil for my tummy in the first trimester. I would use bio oil. I was using that and a combination of this. It's coconut shea butter Vaseline. I didn't get stretch marks until 37 weeks. They popped up out of nowhere. I was religiously using my oil and my Vaseline. Stretch marks are hereditary and my mom does have them. So it was kind of already in the books for me, which again, I really don't care. Now let's talk about my second trimester. Literally a breeze. I was freaking glowing. I had a lot of energy. I actually worked out for a little while. That is actually when we moved too. We moved into our own place. You know how much nesting I was doing. I was nesting so hard during this time. I obviously cleaned a lot, organized a lot. To me, it was the perfect time to move. I was having a fresh start, put things in the places that I wanted them to stay in. I love it. It was a great time. I think I felt her first kick at like 20 weeks and that was such a weird experience. First I felt like just little flutters. I probably started feeling Braxton Hicks around like 25 weeks. At 26 weeks we found out that she was head down. She did end up staying like that actually. She stayed head down all the way from 26 weeks. Second trimester is also when I wrote my birth plan and I also packed my bag. I had everything I needed in one bag and it wasn't too big because I didn't want to overpack. So now moving into the third trimester. By the end of my pregnancy, I gained 60 plus pounds, which is kind of normal for the women in my family. We always gain a lot of weight during pregnancy, say like water weight. I was like 15 pounds overweight already at the beginning of my pregnancy. That relationship weight, you know. I got all the way up to 226 pounds at the end of my pregnancy. That was really heavy for me. And believe me, I felt that shit. Like I said, Javier could only go to the first 2 appointments. And then once the pandemic really hit, he was no longer allowed to go to appointments. So that was definitely a bummer. I was really sad about that, and they wouldn't let me record the ultrasounds either, so that made me really sad. I was able to like make videos of when she took the heartbeat, but I wasn't actually able to show like what the baby looked like in the ultrasounds, and they only printed pictures for me like one time. Look who's awake. Oh my goodness. What do we do about that? That is thick. Yeah, movies. Yeah, your chin. You have the biggest double chin ever. I wanna like brush her hair, but she just woke up, so y'all can get over it. Oh yeah, and when I would go to appointments before you walk in the hospital or the doctor's office, they'll be like, any shortness of breath, and I would just be like, no. I was super tired and run down. I felt super heavy. My feet were so humongous. You could like press the top of my foot down and it would be like one of those like Tempur-Pedic like foam mattresses. And it was just like, Started drinking red raspberry leaf tea. Probably around like 32 weeks, I would drink 1 cup a day, and then I increased it as I got closer to delivery. Red raspberry leaf tea, it's actually supposed to make labor a little bit quicker. I also started eating dates probably around 34 weeks. I was eating 6 dates a day. At first I was trying to eat them with like peanut butter, and ooh, dates are disgusting to me. They're just like sweet. It just tastes like you're eating like mushed up sugar. I don't know. I just put them in smoothies and drank a smoothie a day. Dates are actually, I believe they're supposed to ripen your cervix. They also put me on an iron pill because I was slightly anemic. Started taking primrose oil pills probably around 36 weeks, and then I would actually insert it, you know, like up there. It's just supposed to ripen your cervix. And then once I found out I was dilated, I stopped because I actually got advice about that. My 39-week appointment is when I found out I was 1 centimeter dilated. Once I found out that I was dilated, I started just taking the primrose oil pills by mouth. Towards the end of my pregnancy, I was bouncing on the birth ball. I was walking every day. I did a lot of things to try to induce my pregnancy because, man, I was getting really impatient and I was super uncomfortable, so I just did not want to be pregnant anymore. I was planning on having a natural birth, so I was trying everything to just get my cervix ready. I was also doing pelvic floor exercises, and I just would YouTube like a pelvic floor exercise video. Stretching, I was doing pregnancy yoga. I would curb walk. Curb walking, I did all that like right before I went into labor. So, you know, I think that stuff really does help. Sorry if the lighting is a little different. My camera died, so I'm back a little bit later. So a few things for the pandemic part of this video. I was really concerned that my boyfriend wouldn't be able to be in the delivery room. I had watched videos of women who had to deliver by themselves. They couldn't have anybody in the room. So I was really concerned that he wasn't gonna get to be there. Luckily, he did get to be there, and we didn't have to wear masks because I was not about to wear a mask during birth. Please. Not sure if I want to put the series in a row or if I want to kind of skip around. Hey, so I'm editing this video right now, and I just wanted to say that if you want any like further information on the thing that I talked about in this video, or you want me to go like more in depth, feel free to comment or DM me on Instagram, and I will explain a little bit more to you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and sticking around. I know this is probably a long one. Come back to my next one. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye.
I'll be dreaming. I'll be dreaming. I'll be dreaming. I'll be dreaming.